Let's be honest, we all use the phrase the cloud pretty much every single day. But what is it actually? Is it up there somewhere? Is it a place? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole thing, starting with the one piece of hardware that the entire internet is built on. So let's start with a really simple question. When you're scrolling through a website or using an app, where is all that information actually coming from? Where does the internet live? It totally feels like it's just floating around us in the air, right? But the truth is, it's very, very physical, and it all starts with one key component. And that journey begins with a piece of tech you've definitely heard of, a server. Think of it as the unsung hero, the workhorse of the digital world. And trust me, understanding what a server is, that's the first real step to understanding the cloud. Okay, let's just forget all the complicated jargon for a second. At its heart, a server is really just a specialized computer. It doesn't need a fancy screen or a keyboard. Its one and only job is to be on 24/7, connected to the internet, and just, well, listen, it's waiting for requests. The second your browser asks for a website, that server's job is to grab the right files and send them right back to you. That's it. So how does this whole request and serve thing actually play out? Well, to break it down, let's use an analogy I think we can all get behind. Ordering a pizza. This whole back and forth is called the client-server model. It's super simple. Step one, you, the client, make a request. That's you calling the pizza place or, typing a web address into your browser. Step two, the server processes that request. The pizza place takes your order or the server finds the files for the website you want. And finally, step three, the service gets delivered. The pizza shows up at your door or, boom, the website loads on your screen. This simple idea powers pretty much everything we do online. Okay, so if a server is basically just a computer, you might be thinking, why doesn't every company just have one sitting in a closet somewhere? Well, as it turns out, owning and operating your own servers, it's a massive, massive headache. I mean, sure, you get complete control over everything, which is one pro, but the downsides, they are huge. Servers are incredibly expensive to buy and run. You need a team of experts just to maintain them, and they can get totally overwhelmed if too many people visit your site at once. But here's the real deal breaker. If that one physical server in your office fails, if the power goes out, if it overheats, your entire website, your entire service just vanishes. That single point of failure is a risk most businesses just can't take. And this is exactly where the cloud makes its grand entrance. It was designed from the ground up to be the elegant, modern solution to all of those old-school server problems. So what is the cloud, really? It's not some magical thing floating in the sky. Nope. It's actually a gigantic global network of servers, databases, and software, all humming away in massive buildings called data centers. These are owned and managed by huge companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And instead of buying your own server, you just rent a little piece of theirs. The key idea here is that you, the user, don't have to know or even care where the physical hardware is. I mean, think about it. When you get a new phone and log into Instagram or Dropbox, all your photos are just there. That's the cloud in action. Your data isn't stuck on one device. It's stored safely on these remote servers, and you can get to it from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. But the cloud is so much more than just a place to store your photos. It offers this incredibly powerful toolkit of services that has completely changed how businesses are built and run. So let's take a look at some of the key advantages. The benefits are just transformative. Instead of spending a fortune on hardware upfront, you get a pay-as-you-go model. If your app suddenly goes viral overnight, you can instantly scale up your server power to handle it. And if traffic slows down, you just scale right back down. You only pay for what you actually use. That kind of flexibility is an absolute game changer. Now, cloud services typically come in three main layers. To make it easy, let's think about building a house. The first layer is called Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. This is the most basic level. You're renting the fundamental building blocks, the virtual servers, the storage, the networking. It's like renting the empty plot of land and the raw materials. You have total control, but you have to build the house yourself. The next layer up is Platform as a Service, or PaaS. Here, the cloud provider manages all of that underlying infrastructure for you. In our house analogy, this is like renting a property where the foundation and the frame are already built. It gives developers a ready-made environment to start building their apps so they don't have to worry about the plumbing or electricity. They can just focus on the creative part. And finally, we have the layer that we're all most familiar with, Software as a Service, or SaaS. These are the complete finished applications you use every day online, like Gmail or Google Docs. The provider manages absolutely everything. To finish our analogy, this is like renting a fully furnished, move-in ready home. You just show up, turn the key, and start using it. Now I know all this can still feel a little bit abstract with all the IACSs and PASs, so let's ground it in a real-world example. The biggest player in the cloud computing game by far is Amazon Web Services, or AWS. Two of its most famous and fundamental services are called EC2 and S3. EC2 is a perfect example of that first layer, infrastructure as a service. It lets you rent virtual computers whenever you need them. And S3 is a massive, simple storage service, giving you practically unlimited space for your data. A huge chunk of the internet you use every single day is built right on top of these two services. And it's not just about cost and convenience. Operating at this massive scale brings other pretty surprising benefits. For instance, AWS claims that because their data centers are so hyper-efficient, companies can slash their energy-related carbon emissions by up to 88% just by moving to the cloud instead of running their own servers. So there you have it. We've gone from a single physical box sitting in a closet to this vast global network of invisible data centers that power our digital lives. The cloud has made technology more accessible, more scalable, and more efficient than ever. But as our whole world moves there, it does leave us with one last really important question to think about. What does it mean when nearly all of the world's data is stored and managed inside just a handful of these giant corporate-owned warehouses? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.